possesses all-wheel drive and nearly 500 horsepower. And that's what Audi has cooked up here on its all-new RS5. That is a 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine making 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. And all of that torque comes on as low as 1,900 RPM and continues up through 5,000 RPM. That engine is backed up by an 8-speed gearbox. They don't use the double clutch here because it can't handle all the torque. So let's enjoy the 8-speed. Thankfully, even though this is all-wheel drive, it is rear-biased all-wheel drive. This is an Audi Sport RS product, so it is designed for us to have fun with it. When you are in full dynamic mode, that rear bias sends up to 85% of the torque out back. And then if you get the optional Audi Quattro Sport differential, of that 85%, it can send 100% to either rear wheel. Inside, there are nice RS touches like this steering wheel with this great perforated leather. There's carbon fiber inlays, and the carbon fiber weave itself is thicker than the one you'd find in like an S model or an S line, if that comes with carbon fiber. The car we're driving right here is finished in an absolutely beautiful green paint. It's called Sonoma Green, which is a perfect name for this paint. The Nardo Gray looks cool, but for my money, it is this green one. And then speaking of the money, the base price is $69,700. Now that doesn't include, I think, $995 for destination and handling, and no one is going to buy a base car because the base car doesn't give you nav. You're going to get one of these, you're going to get nav. That's $2,600. They price it that way so that they can advertise it as being under $70,000, but you're going to spend about $75,000 on this car. You're going to spend more if you want the carbon ceramic brakes and the 174 mile per hour top speed limited instead of the 155 mile per hour top speed, which honestly, you don't necessarily need all of that. You might want the brakes. They're not going to fade, but both brakes, the stopping distance is equal. It's just if you're going to track this, the carbon ceramics will hold up longer on a racetrack. So as far as competition goes, this is faster than the BMW M4, specifically the one with the competition package. 0 to 60 on this is an amazing 3.7 seconds. This thing pulls and pulls hard, and thanks to all-wheel drive, it sticks right away. Now, one area where I'm actually pretty surprised, especially given that this is an Audi product, and Audi products usually toe the line between hard and soft with their S-line vehicles or their S model vehicles. The suspension in this, in full dynamic, is firm as hell. The ride is really bumpy. You really notice it. You feel everything. And the cars are fitted with a brand new dynamic ride control suspension system that is actually pretty neat. It is a mechanical-based system that keeps the car really level through corners, and it works by, as you load up one side of the car through a corner, the fluid in the system goes to that side and keeps the car flat. It goes back to the other side in another corner. It's really neat. Does that make you sick, Brian? No. And so the amount that it does that depends on which mode you're in. So this is not a continuously adjusting damped suspension system. It is set in comfort, it handles it a certain amount, and then in dynamic, it handles it more aggressively. So it's not constantly reacting, it's just you set it and you're good to go. Now that's good because it keeps things consistent. It's most noticeable when it comes to the steering specifically. Dynamic mode locks the steering ratio into a 13.5 to 1 steering ratio, which is actually really cool because some of these dynamic systems are constantly adjusting the steering ratio, and that can change how the car behaves lap to lap on a track. When you lock it at a set ratio, you know what the steering is going to do as you whip through a corner. As you pick up speeds, your steering feel should remain consistent, and that's pretty important. So this is a fairly tremendous machine. Audi's been kind of kicking ass with every sporty new model it comes out with. I loved the S4, S5. I really enjoyed the TT-RS and the RS3. And then this just is a continued evolution of everything awesome that Audi Sport is bringing to the Audi side of the brand. The styling on this car looks great. I already mentioned the paint, but then you get the black optic package, which 90% of US buyers will get that package. That's just what their analysis says. They know how the buyers are going to option this car, and it's going to get with those. You can get this with optional 20-inch wheels. They look cool. I don't love them. I like the 19-inch looking wheel a little bit better, but the tires are nice and sticky. Down the road, there's going to be a Pirelli P0 tire option, but these hand coupes seem to be holding up well to this road. We pushed the car a little bit harder the other day on a more technical section of driving. This has been higher speed, sweepery stuff out in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, and you find yourself cruising at Autobahn speeds quickly, comfortably. You look down at the speedo and you're like, eesh, I should probably back off a little bit, as I was forced to do earlier in the day. So if you're out there shopping for an M4 or a C63, you should probably really take a strong look at this Audi, because it's going to be quicker. It's going to be significantly quicker, and it's probably going to wind up costing you a little bit less once you start adding in the options needed to get close to the speeds that this thing hits. The C63 doesn't really compete. You need to spend all of the money on the C63S. The BMW M4, you need to get the competition package to get within a tenth, 0 to 60. Audi's usually conservative with their 0 to 60 times too, so there's a chance that number is actually a few ticks lower, which is, I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing that you have this, you know, A5-based vehicle that is well below 4 seconds 0 to 60 and is in the healthy side of the 3 seconds 0 to 60 run. That's just wild. Like, I'm cruising right now, I'm grabbing the paddle, I just want to show you how. Let's see if it'll let me go to third. I mean, this car is just, we're already moving at 75. We quickly went much faster. Please don't be a cop. Forest Services. Fuck, I should be passing here. It goes quick. As I've already found out on this drive, because, oh, there's some bumpiness. I may have been pulled over, maybe, by Arizona's finest. I wasn't going that fast then. We just hit, if you can read the speedometer there, I'm in trouble. Oh, let's slow down in case that's good. Let's see, we're way ahead of the traffic behind us. I'm gonna find a section to do some launch control. Once we pass, I only got light car. Right? You're agreed on that? But if we let them get over the horizon, we let this Corvette go by. Keep going. I can't see anyone behind us. Ready? All right, launch control. The car's... Oh, fuck me. It launches aggressively. I mean, that's putting it mild. This is impressive. This would have been, I could feel the seatbelts tightened up. Yeah. These would have been supercar numbers not that long ago, and you're getting it for well under $100,000. You don't need to spend over $80,000 on this car. You can buy a great one in the 70s. The seatbelts are still tight. There we go. Sorry if I ruined that. No. It adds to the ambiance of how great the launch was. It had nothing to do with me. It was literally, what you do is you put it into dynamic mode, you press the stability control once to put it into sport mode, and then it's as simple as foot on the brake, foot on the gas. It rises somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 RPMs, and you just dump it. And it actually activates a dynamic shift pattern that is only accessible when you are doing the launch mode, because otherwise it shifts dynamically and sporty, but it's much more so in that launch mode.